Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Selectmen's meeting, January 4th, 2021. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
To the flag, United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Naomi has the Zoom subscription in front of her. Do we have any public comment?
We do have a new resident. Jessica, you on tonight?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Jessica is a new to town and she wanted to watch one of our meetings. So welcome, Jessica.
Welcome to the circus.
Thank you.
Wow. Don't give much faith in us, does it? All right, seeing no public comment, we'll go to department head committee items,
Yes. Chief Moore.
which would, I think, Chief Moore.
Does he have any?
Do you have any?
Negative.
Okay. If he's the only department head on, that's all we have.
Yeah.
Okay, brings us to the follow-up discussion with AT&T, but do we want to wait for Chairman Meany to arrive first?
Chairman Meany is on.
Okay,
He's just driving.
okay. I didn't know if we wanted to wrap up all the other, the manifest and stuff like that first.
Fong and Lisa.
Okay.
Fong, Lisa, do you mind if we just continue on till the chairperson arrives?
Nope,
No problem at all.
Sitting here somewhere. Been a while since I read one. Bear with me. All right, move to the manifest. Move to order the treasurer to sign payroll accounts payables checks dated January 7th, 2021 is included in the following manifest. Payroll manifest is $72,950.48 for weekly and fire monthly payroll. 2020 accounts payable manifest of $8,796.36 and a 2021 accounts payable manifest of $134,414.73 for a total of $216,161.57. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Jack.
Jack and John, right?
Is John on?
John, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you all set with the manifest?
Yes.
That moves us to minutes from 12:28. All right, still trying to, when do we get those? Yeah, they're right there. Do.
So page one under present.
Yep.
Seems a little confusing the way it's written out.
Okay.
Not quite sure who's absent and who's via Zoom, the way it's written out. I would just like to suggest that, because I believe John was the one absent,
Yep.
that whoever's absent just not be listed under the present field.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds right. Yeah, just a little organization there.
I have underlined that too on the front, because I looked at it, I said, well, I was on Zoom.
No problem.
Anything else on page one? Page two? On two? Three?
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of December 28, 2020 as amended.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes,
Abstain.
true. All right. Really juggling the schedule tonight.
I know. I messed up my paper.
You're welcome. Glad I could help.
The administrator's report for January 4th, I'm gonna go jump down to 2021 annual budget. We were able to successfully move the annual budget hearing to the cafetorium. It's gonna be in person, Monday, January 18th, 2021, at the cafetorium. And then also we were successfully be able to move in person the deliberative session for 21, which is Saturday, February 6th, 2021 at the gymnasium. That allows us a little bit more room to social distance. 2021 warrant articles, we're going to finalize next Monday with the understanding that they truly won't be final warrant until after Tuesday, January 12th, because that is the last day for petitions. We're going to move on to seeing how the building's being closed. I've just provided a list of all the committees that have been scheduled to go remotely, and they've been scheduled accordingly for the month. I don't think I have to read them off, but we can put them in the minutes. The building and maintenance projects, the only thing that's really changed is the stone memorial building. Last week, we encumbered the funds and the vendor's been notified to schedule, but I honestly didn't follow them up after the vacation. I can see when that'll be scheduled for. And then on number 10, we had someone that was gonna shovel for us, and then he's unable to do that. So Kyle and I shoveled this morning.
Thankfully, it wasn't a lot.
Huh?
Thankfully, it wasn't a lot.
No, it wasn't a lot, but Kyle's gonna take care of them from here on out. We kind of talked about that today.
Okay.
So that's really all I have to offer. I know it's not a lot, but Happy New
Nope.
Year to everyone.
Quick question on number 9, on the second. tab. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
John, did you have something?
Under correspondence, I do.
Okay.
All right, we're not there yet. We'll get there.
Okay.
Number
Give us 2
9.
seconds.
Ladies' bathroom.
Yes.
What are the upgrades that need to be done? I've seen that on here a couple of
I'll refresh your
times.
memory with an email that was some
Generated, yeah.
painting, some other things that,
Okay.
I know you don't ever go in the ladies' room, but if you
No.
did, stick your head in there.
It needs to be
It's,
gutted.
it's really,
Okay.
it's got the old stall from when the locker rooms were here, I think.
Okay.
In
Probably
the,
25
yeah,
years, 30 years.
so I'll re-forward you the email that came with a concern
There
from
was,
the
there was
employees.
pictures attached to it as well.
Okay.
So, before we move off of, this to go to, general items number 9, I think that my own opinion is, and I think Naomi put an email out that this board needs to go remote as well. Moving forward and use the Zoom platform as we've requested all of the other committees and boards to do.
Okay, so I would think we need to put a revisit date on this. At what point do we revisit this to continue Zoom, end of the month?
Because we had talked about, well, you and I had talked about, it was at the end of January that we had pushed the building being closed for. So I think we reassessed the entire packet at that point. The building closure.
For the month of January, just to get through the pandemic.
Right,
So I would suggest that we revisit this on the 25th meeting.
okay, yeah. And then we reevaluate the
Yep.
building, us, all the other boards, et cetera.
What's going
Everything has been
on.
put in
Yep.
place.
Yep.
And just reevaluate and see if we're gonna extend it.
Absolutely.
That'd be my suggestion.
Sounds fine with me.
Is that consensus of the board or?
I'm okay either way.
Yes,
Okay, all right. Yeah, Jack, and Chairman Meany's driving, so. All right, that basically wraps up administrator's report, I believe, and all the topics we had into that. So correspondence, other business. It sounded like John Osborne had something.
yeah, I just want to bring it back up about the cemetery contract.
Okay.
I think we need to move forward with that. By exercising our option.
Okay. Has there been more discussion about that, Naomi?
No, John and I actually swapped texts today in regards to that. I think my thought was we could make one more attempt to invite to come in to discuss. If that isn't, you can exercise your right. The only thing I express is this is not the time of year to put it out to bid because that's
No.
not fair to
Nobody
anybody.
can see it.
Because
They
nobody
can't
can
see the
see what
mess.
they're getting into.
What they're getting into, right?
Right.
Yep.
So I'm happy to reach out one more time to try to meet. I know one of the two that are the vendors works at night, but the other half of the business is there. If there's truly want to have a conversation about things, because we still didn't make the last installment.
And based on lack of communication, lack of,
Work being done.
lack of,
Completion.
lack of completion, I say we just do not pay the remaining bill.
No, I think we're holding it anyways, so.
I agree.
And then what do you want to do? Just withhold it? Are you looking to exercise? Do you want me to reach back out to them? or what
I'd
do
say
you-
reach back out one more time and then we can cross the bridge.
Yeah, if we don't,
Well, they're not gonna be able to Do it now. anyway.
No, I know that, but at least one more reach out.
Yeah.
and then just, what's next Monday's docket looking like?
We're just gonna finalize the warrant articles, and then Beth had wanted to give you the list of encumbrances, just so you guys are on the same page, and to see what revenues look like. So other than that,
I'd invite her back in for next Monday, the 11th. And if we're unable to make any headway, then we exercise our right. So we can start
The
planning on
process.
moving forward.
I mean, I don't think that the RFP is going to change any as far as what the town is requesting services be performed. So I don't think there's a lot of preparation work as far as moving forward.
I'm just wondering if maybe and I think Naomi sent me the copy of the contract, but I didn't study it. Is it just too broad? Is it too much?
No, I don't think so. Not that one, because remember, lawn care is broken up into three. It's broken up into cemeteries, and then it's broken up into the
Yeah, but
cisterns.
there's
and
also a
it's
lot
broken
of
up-
cemeteries too.
Oh, no, I'm not saying there's not. You're right. There is.
Right.
But I think it's pretty clear cut on where they are, which ones we want maintained, and to what level we're requesting by when, and because there's dates for like when Memorial Day, they want everything
Yep.
cleaned up then. And so there's quite a guideline in there. So,
And then a lot of them don't get cleaned up again until fall.
Right.
A lot of the smaller ones, they go
Right.
back in the fall.
right. So, I mean, again, we may be able to touch up some language on it, but I think we've touched it up in the last couple times.
Okay.
Just to make sure that there was some spots, because we had an overlap in the, at the safety complex.
Yep.
Specifically in the care, and we changed that. So, we did touch about that.
The other thing, if we're holding that, we're gonna keep that money,
Mhm.
that maybe whoever, ends up doing this.
Well, we might be putting the cart before the horse too. Potentially. I don't think so, but before we get too far off, I think it's a conversation we have with the vendor.
Yeah.
So, and then move forward from there.
And like to invite her, because realistically, the next couple of weeks are going to be busy after
absolutely.
next Monday. So
Yeah, they're gonna get cranked in the warrant time. So,
invite her in for our next meeting, which is January 11, and
let's do
if
that.
nothing,
then we're going to exercise. I think we ought to exercise our right. My opinion.
Oh, we can cross that bridge.
Yep.
Next meeting.
sure.
So, any idea where Jack is?
No, I left my phone upstairs too, so I can't text him. So,
Well, he's probably on his phone.
Jack, are you anywhere close by town? Jack Meany?
Probably not have any service.
May not.
Do you
All
have
right.
video of him at least?
No, he cut the video off too.
He may be in that dead spot.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna hold up the AT&T people any longer.
Nope.
So, we'll move back to the follow-up discussion with AT&T FirstNet.
We want to see if there's anything else.
Oh,
John?
any other correspondence, other business? Anybody had? I didn't have any.
Nope, I had nothing.
All right, we'll move back to AT&T FirstNet discussion. You recognize representatives?
Yep. So Lisa Benincasa from AT&T FirstNet is on. I met you guys all earlier this couple of months ago, but thanks for having us. I hope everyone had a healthy and happy new year and stayed healthy. Thanks for having us. And I think Fong's on, right, Fong?
Yes, I'm here.
So
Perfect.
I know that you guys had some questions and we wanted to be available to answer any questions you guys had. So
I think specifically, Selectman Van had a couple.
Naomi, were you able to put together a list of all the equipment that PD uses for, currently with our current vendor?
Yes.
So I think that some of this conversation is, there was general numbers thrown out as far as what phones cost, what push to talk costs,
Equipment costs.
some equipment costs, but I think we're looking for a much firmer number, because I think that the plan is to move forward with changing the cell phone carrier at the PD to AT&T FirstNet.
PD for now.
Correct.
So the PD, Lisa, there's 16 phones and 5 MDTs that are in the
Do you know-
cruisers.
you know what kind of phones they have?
Right now, it's kind of
A mix?
yeah, it's a mix. Some have the iPhone 6, some have I don't know, Chief, I don't know what he's got. I tried to put something together, but we've got iPhone 7, 6, 8s,
Mhm.
6Ss. So
Everything's Apple product.
it looks
Oh.
like everything's an Apple,
Okay,
not an orange.
so, and like, basically the only reason that we asked that is because we do help to provide like a buyback quote for you guys as well. But, so I know that, basically, so what we can do is if you can email that to Fong and I, we can provide you guys with the proposal for the quote. But basically it's $39.99 unlimited talk, text and data for any smartphone. And that includes, like there's no throttling. If you guys want to add hotspot to that, that's an additional $5. And that would enable you to, attach to a laptop or something like that. But a lot of people don't do that because they use Wi-Fi. So I think a lot of the times it's kind of a waste of money, but
Lisa,
Some people
Selectman
like
Van, that $39.99, does that include push to talk?
so the push to talk is an additional fee, and that is an additional $5.
Per line?
Yep.
It's $2. It's $2. It's $2 more for the
Well-
push to talk.
Well, so, right, so there's two different fees. So the $2 is just regular push to talk, and that's phone to phone, and that's like the old Nextel ways, like, remember we showed you?
Yep.
But the additional fee is $5 for the interoperability between the radios.
Okay, so that's once we have the gateway in place down at our
Correct.
dispatch center, it's $5.
All right,
Yep.
so it's 2 to start and five when we roll out the full system.
Is it 2
Correct.
plus
So-
5 or 2 and then to 5?
So Naomi, that's a good point. It's just $7 total with the LMR push to talk on it. Yep. On top of the monthly service.
Okay.
And we can add that at any time, because right now, due to voting laws, we can't add the radio integration for a couple more months.
You can add it anytime you want.
Okay.
Who does the installation of the push to talk gateway?
So we usually work with your radio vendor, but it's pretty self-explanatory. We can assist, but basically we just have, it just depends on how you want to set it up. So in Derry, they had two-way radio come over and they connected it directly to their radio server
Okay,
with the cable, with the radio cable.
yep.
And some people just connect it right to their portable, and that's how they do it that way.
And what's the cost, what's the equipment cost for that gateway?
So we would have to price that out with C&M, but it's probably around, the gateway is probably around between, I think it's like 8,000. What is it, Fong? Is it like 8 or 9,000?
Right. So it depends on how many ports you are looking for.
Yeah.
So they started with a 2-port. So the 4-port, we recently provided the actually Chief Warwick over at Hillsborough PD. They just acquired one. So they have a 4-port. It's around like $12,000.
Yeah.
With everything set up, the licenses and all the other setup speeds and stuff.
Okay, how much would the 2-port be?
I will be around, I would say around like 7 or 8. And once again, we can able to get that sorted out for the quote
Yeah.
and get back to you guys with the exact number.
Yeah, I'd like to see what the quote would be on the 2-port, because I don't believe we'll need 4-port for our current radio system.
No,
Sure.
I don't believe so either.
So we can provide that so that you guys can have a separate quote just for the radio interop, and we can provide a separate quote for just the phones and MDTs.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah, and that would be my other concern. Obviously, the $39.99 is for an actual, in-hand phone.
Yep.
With the MDTs themselves, the ones that obviously don't leave the cruisers, is there a different fee schedule for those?
Yeah, so that's unlimited data, and that's $37.99, unlimited, $38.99, sorry, $38.99 unlimited data, and that's no throttling. And basically, you can either, it depends on what you have right now, if you have a Cradle Point or Sierra Wireless, or if you have an embedded SIM card into your laptop, we just have to figure that out. But that's unlimited.
I believe Chief Moore can answer what that is.
Right.
Chris, can you answer that, Chris? Chief Moore?
I'm not 100%. I believe it is a SIM card.
Okay.
but
So we would just
yeah,
have to, yeah, so we
Sorry.
would just have to get the model number of your laptop to see if it's compatible with FirstNet. And then if it's not, we can always hook it up to like a Nighthawk, which is those data devices, which is a lot of that's what Rockingham County uses for all their MDTs. I think that's what Derry uses. A lot of the departments use them because they're just not band 14 ready, some of their devices, until they have enough money to buy like a band 14 Cradlepoint or Sierra Wireless or an upgrade to their laptops, and they just use Nighthawk, which is a hotspot. And they can connect it to with a Cat5 cable.
All right, so question, what is that equipment, the actual equipment cost to set that up? Obviously, we know what the monthly reoccurring is, but
Yeah, so Fong, is it
So
it once-
the Nighthawk is $149.99, which is $150. But with the Nighthawk or any data devices that you purchase through AT&T, you get a $75 credit, which takes about 3 to 4 billing cycle. So the credit's going to apply to that. So essentially, the Nighthawk going to cost $75 instead of $150. For any smartphones that you can activate or port the number from US Cellular or Verizon, the smartphone will get $200 activation credits. And same thing, it takes about 3 to 4 billing cycle before the credit kicks in.
On the cell phones, Fong, would there be any activation fee per line?
No,
No.
agency paid, there's no activation fee at all.
Agency paid, no activation fee.
correct?
That is correct, yep.
What about subscriber paid?
Subscriber pay, like when you go through the credential part, like, I know Naomi recently just confirmed that she have access to the portal right now.
Yeah.
When we go through the credentialing for any individual that are interested with FirstNet, there's no activation fee for the sub pay either.
So subscriber paid once approved and credentialed, then there's no activation fee either, correct?
That is correct, yep.
All right.
And I just want to kind of go back to for Chief Morse talking about the MDT. Chief, if you could find out, I think the best way to do it, because even for us to look up the IMEI number of the model, that we weren't able to tell 100% whether or not those devices are band 14 or FirstNet capable. If you could able to reach out to your vendors that where you procured these devices in the past, if you can able to talk to them, they definitely able to get back to you within like a minute. It tells you whether or not those devices are FirstNet ready.
from what I understand, they're not FirstNet ready. They were set up for Verizon. When we purchase them, we have to purchase them based on what service provider we're going to have.
Okay,
And it's $800 to switch them over to FirstNet from Verizon, from what I understand.
Right.
Oh,
So
boy.
that's
Nighthawk
your
sounds great.
right. That's your answer is right there. Yeah, because usually the newer devices nowadays, whether Cradlepoint, Sierra, or Patrol PC, they actually like carrier diagnostic, meaning they'll work with either Verizon or AT&T. The newer modems, of course.
and they all have band 14 radio in them, so
Right.
they're all ready.
These hotspots, the Nighthawk, I think you called them, do they have provisions for external antennas?
Yep,
So they do. We don't carry the antenna. So the antenna is actually through like third parties. Like when you go to Amazon, the Nighthawk, the model number for the Nighthawk is MR. So Mary Richard 1100. So when you go when you Google it, John, and or Chief, when you guys Google it, you can see like there's like different options. And I think the antenna, the dual antenna for the one that I've seen specifically, I think it costs like $60 for the antenna. Right.
All right.
When you guys make this upfit quote, can you guys just put a rough number of that in there? Because I think that would definitely be something that,
yep,
and Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's something we definitely want to get as an external antenna for those.
we can do
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Oh, so I just want to confirm, you want us to put the cost for the antenna in the quote, because we don't carry the antenna itself, so
Well,
I don't know.
we can just put a side note for you guys to get the,
Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
the
that's
cost.
all I'm
Yeah.
asking. Yeah, I know you
Okay.
guys can't acquire. I'm just looking to
Yeah.
make sure a number is put in there so we don't forget it. That's all.
Yep,
Understand. And how many MBT are we talking about again? I know Naomi mentioned earlier. I didn't
5.
catch that. 5? Okay. And as far as for the 16 phones, for the iPhones, like Lisa mentioned, we do have the iPhone XR for 99 cents, as well as the iPhone SE. So the XR is actually a bigger screen than the SE, and the SE they actually brought back the home button, but the screen size is like a 4.9 inches, a little smaller than the XR. The XR is like 5.9. I think it's like 5.9 or 6.1 for the XR, but they're both 99 cents.
I was speaking with one of the police sergeants, and they liked the idea of having the ruggedized phone, the Sonim.
XP8s.
Yeah, I think that's what we had on demo. What would the
Yep.
price be on that, even though that's a
Those are-
different operating system?
Those are Androids and those are 99 cents.
Those are also 99 cents.
Yep.
Both phones, can they or can they not have a Bluetooth or a remote microphone?
They can, Android, the Sonim XP8s can have a tethered potato mic with it, and it can have a Bluetooth, and so can, and the iPhone obviously can have a Bluetooth.
Okay.
Obviously, it can't have a potato mic.
Can you also include those in your quote? Price for the Sonim X8s times
Yep.
16. Price for the iPhone XR, I guess. I'm
Sure.
not familiar with the iPhone, along with a Bluetooth microphone per
Sure.
line. Okay.
Yeah. So
So
when,
the,
like,
Lisa, sorry. So for the iPhone, we don't carry the potato mic just like for the Sonim XP8. So there's so many Bluetooth headsets out there. So it's all depend on like what you're looking for Bluetooth headset. So it's like a wireless type of headset.
Yeah.
But the specific potato mic they built specifically for the Sonim XP8. It only worked with the Sonim XP8 or
So
the
we'll-
XP5S.
we can provide that.
Okay.
So I think, so, and again, Chief, stop us at any point if you got any input.
Chief Vizina has a question. He's got his
Oh,
hand up.
okay,
Oh.
well then I recognize Chief
Chief
Vizina.
Vizina, go ahead. You have your hand up. Bob?
Maybe he was just waving.
Chief Vizina, you're still muted. There you go.
Okay, there we go. I just had a question on those devices. Are they intrinsically safe, or are there any classification to those?
For the Sonim XP8s,
Any of the stuff you're talking about that they're gonna wear in a building?
for the fire department?
Yep.
Yep. So the Sonim XP8 has, it both has I can send the specs on that over to you guys, but it basically has, it's like waterproof, it's chemical proof. The heat, it does have a heat shield on its glass. It goes, I think it goes like 100 and something below freezing and something like in the heat. But I'll send all those specs to you so that you
Okay,
can see them.
thank you.
Yep.
Chief Morris, I actually do have one question in regard to the fire MDTs. If we're going to provide it on a quote for the Nighthawk, do you guys need like static IP for those MDTs as well?
Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So,
Okay.
so a lot of departments have to get into like CGIS, or you guys,
We do. So he'll need a
Yes.
static IP address.
okay.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
So, question I have is moving forward, looking forward. Is the phone capable, I guess we're calling it potato mic, is that a direction that the PD is going to want to take once the inoperability box is in place? If so, that kind of ties our hand to the product that we're going to have to get.
Chief Moore, is there any reason that we have to stick with iPhone product, Apple product, or can we use
The Android.
use Androids? Chief Moore?
Can I share something? Can I just, so a lot of the departments use the XP8, and a lot of them put the Sonim XP8s in the sergeant's cars. And then if the other ones that don't need the ruggedized phones, they can usually share that amongst, the captains and the chiefs and whoever don't really need the big ruggedized, because they're really heavy phones. But you can mix and match. You don't have to get all of one. You can get any number of devices you want. And they'll all still work on the interoperability kit. So you'll still get the radio interop on the iPhone.
Okay. I was more
I just-
concerned about any software requirements or anything like that requires us to use Apple products or not.
Nope, you can still use that.
on our side here are already in town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chief, do we have anything that is a must do for Apple?
No, we all have general just programs we use.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you guys required to use a device management system?
What would that look like?
That's like a, it's like a, go ahead, Fong, you can explain it. You're much better at this than I am.
Oh, sorry. So basically, they call it MDM, mobile device management. So like the Mass 360 from IBM or the AirWatch. So what it does is it actually allows you to able to push like the policy down to these devices. How you're able to manage and control for when it got lost, stolen, that you can able to access remotely, wipe the devices by itself. If someone forgot the password, you can able to reset the phone itself. So it just gives you like a more security level of managing these devices.
Put that on the quote too.
Yeah,
So
it's been a while since
we-
I've set mine up, so I don't recall if we did that or not.
Okay. So this is not something that we can able to add into the quote. If you guys are interested, the first thing first, we have to get our vendors and schedule like a call with whoever it is on your end, and they have to go through like different type of like licenses. So there's like different level of licenses depending on what you're looking for. So they can able to go through do the walkthrough and the live demo and see what see which one package is more suitable for you and what you need. If this is something that you're interested, let us know. We can try to get our vendor involved and then do a call with you guys.
I don't have any other questions. I think we're pretty much at the point of, and this is my own take on it, is getting the firmer quote as far as what we're going to need for where, not just what individual items cost.
So just to confirm, Fong and Lisa, the iPhones or the Sonom X8s, they're a buck a piece, right?
Correct.
Okay. The potato microphone, if we go with the Sonom, how much is that each? Or is that,
We have to look at the price. I think don't quote me on this, but I think the as an MSRP there's like $150 and there's like a 30% discount.
did you say 150? You were breaking up.
150, correct. 150 before the 30% discount. Somewhere around that ballpark.
Okay.
And as far as for the phones, do you guys need the mobile hotspot capability plan or the $39.99 talk, text, and data?
I think that'd be a chief
Yeah.
ask. Chief, would the phones themselves have to be hotspot ready, or would the MDT take care of that function?
No, can we do that? Can we have it available, but if we need it, we can activate it, or do we have to sign up from the get-go?
Yeah, based on the plan. So if you go with the $39.99 plan, there's no hotspot on that plan. You have to switch over to the $44.99 plan to get the hotspot capability.
I would probably do 4 with hotspot then, just for
Okay.
training.
Okay. So I'll make sure I label that onto the quote.
From the time if we decide to go this route, which I don't know about everybody else's, but I believe that's going to be the direction we're going to be going. From the time we pull the trigger and order the equipment to the time we're live up and running, are we talking 1, 2, 4 weeks? What kind of implementation time are we talking?
And again, this would just be the phones, not the actual gateway and everything.
Right. Yeah. No, it doesn't take that long because we already got you guys set up for the foundation account number, and Naomi already have access to a low control portal. So right now, when it's said and done, the quote looks good, and we got the information from your current providers that the number you want to port it over. I can just start ordering the devices that got shipped out within like a day or two, and then we can kind of figure out like what day and time it's good for everyone for us to be on site to do the deployment. Anything could be done within like a week.
Okay. Talking with one of the other police sergeants, he had made the request that if we go this route, that we have some kind of training class put on by AT&T so they can learn how to use the phones properly and to the best of their capabilities. Is that something you'd be willing to come down and see us, Fong, or? Is that,
So so we can be on site, but to leave with the expert, we do have a Sonam team, and unfortunately, none of them live in like New England, so they can't really travel in, and they have to quarantine for 14 days before they can able to meet with you guys. But what we can do is we can set up like like a WebEx, some sort of meeting like this. Lisa and myself can be on site as well while they lead the training from the Sonam's team, and they actually been doing this for us with the state pilots. The New Hampshire State Police pilot that we've been doing with the folks, and we're actually going back up to the state police again on Wednesday for the phase 3 pilot, and that's what the Sonam team has been supporting on the WebEx
all right.
remotely.
One of the other questions, I just got a text by one of the sergeants who's listening. He was curious. We have a couple of radio dead spots in town, and is wondering if we can put up, or if there is any kind of small, I guess, cell phone repeater, if you will. We have one particular dead spot called Reservoir Drive that has no cell service regardless of the carrier and no radio service because of the topography. But we do have a government-owned building not too far from this dead spot. And he was asking if there's any kind of device we can put there to boost the AT&T signal.
Lisa, you want to
So,
answer? Okay.
yeah, so basically what we need is just that address, the exact address of that location so that we can have the RAN engineers look at that. And what they do is they take all the information as to the location and see if they could put a small cell up. But for the majority of the places that don't have that service, there is an opportunity to put like a small repeater in a car. It's called an HPUE, and we are going to be demoing that with the state police and the DOT coming up in the next couple of weeks. And we could probably try that with you guys and see if that benefits. It's supposed to give you 12 to 25 miles of extra service wherever you go.
Okay. Yeah, what's the cost on that kind of equipment?
So we're still working it out, and I'm trying to get New Hampshire pricing as far as because of basically the terrain that you guys live in, and so we're just working that out. But
Ballpark price? Nothing will hold you to, but just like 1,000, 5,000.
like 2,500, $3,000, I think.
Okay.
But we're certainly trying to work that down.
And that would be per vehicle, correct?
Yep. But that would just be what I would say is if you have, like, I know that, from my experience, I've, working with police departments is they have sector cars, right? So they have different districts where they put their cars in. And if that's the car that travels in that, I know that all of them go through the whole town, and I know that they all respond to all different locations in the town. But
Yeah.
usually, there's like one, but that HPUE can provide coverage for multiple vehicles at a time as well.
Yeah, I don't think that would work in our situation. Personally, I don't think that would work in our situation.
Could that be put in a roll?
But like Selectman Burdick just asked, could that device be installed in a building?
Yes, yep.
Okay, because
Yep.
like Selectman Van said, we have a government building probably within a mile of this location. And like he said, it doesn't matter what carrier it is, doesn't matter if it's LMR. That has just been a dead zone, and it's probably as it sits, probably a half mile in radius, and that's it. But it's in a very bad spot.
And unfortunately, it's a populated area. It's not like it's a desolate road or anything, so.
And there's a good curve on it where you have a lot of accidents. So,
Sure.
that if that could be put in a building or something, that would be, what is the reach from that unit to the end user?
I have to get the specs on that. It's a brand new product, but,
Okay, all right. Because it sounds like it extends it from the user out to the tower. I just don't know. Just my question was,
Yep.
how far can the user be from the device?
and that's, they said it can range from 12 to 25 miles depending on the terrain. So,
Okay.
So this essentially is I guess
Peter.
they call it a micro cell site. Is that correct?
correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Like a mobile cell site.
Do you offer, or is there one that is instead of this mobile unit for $2,500 approximately, is there one that's meant to go on a building, like you would put in a?
Oh, yeah, we,
a high
we
school,
definitely
something
have
like that?
in-building coverage. Yep,
Okay.
But that in-building coverage, does it extend outside of the building?
yes, yep.
And what's the reach on that?
Yeah, what's a typical
So
range?
those are, there's all different kinds of units. So there's, one of the guys that we work with John Nakos, is he's doing a couple of different units that can do, I don't know, he can do multiple different floors and buildings and outreach as far as, I think, I don't know, 2,000 square feet around the building. They can put up on poles, they can put them up. So we're just working with all these different vendors, and it's not, specifically us. We
Yep.
just have these partners that we work with for FirstNet. So we
Well,
can, we can bring them in as well. And we could, like I said, if you can send me that site location, I can get that with the RAN team, and I can work with them and then show it to our partners and see if we can put something on that pole.
Well, I think
On
that's
that
what we should
building.
do is let AT&T engineers
Yep.
see what would be best in that situation with all
Right.
of the equipment.
Naomi,
considered.
would you be able to email Lisa with that sections between reservoir from East Shore to,
I would say from the dam up over the hill, Page Hill, down the reservoir curve, past the bridge to John
Towns,
Connor.
to Towns Land?
I would say John Connor,
Okay.
and then partially up Thorndike.
And East Shore Drive and
Reservoir Drive where?
between the dam and John Connor.
Where's the building?
Chase
The
Park.
gatehouse, Chase Gatehouse. Chase Park Gatehouse. That whole area, Universal Steel, that is all a dead area.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, if you have like a street address or a pole address at that location, that'd be helpful.
Maybe just put Reservoir and Thorndike as a spot.
Yeah, intersection of Reservoir and Thorndike Street.
Perfect. Yep, just like that.
And then up to the gatehouse, we'll say,
Yeah,
just for simple.
up to Chase Park.
I think that would cover it.
But the reception above Chase Park's fine?
Yeah, because now you can actually, the radio
See
signals will
Cranium.
get past the mountains that are blocking it.
Correct. Yeah. But that up, it
So
just
the
can't do it.
intersection of Reservoir and Thorndike Drive to where?
To
Chase Park.
Chase Park.
Chase Park, yeah.
I would say that.
Or what's
that's
that?
best.
What was it, Waterman Road?
347.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
There's your number.
Jack, did you want to say something, Jack?
No, I'm all set. Seems pretty cut and dry to me. You there?
Yeah,
We're listening.
Okay. Yeah, no, it seems like it's pretty well explained. There's a lot to be absorbed and a lot of money that's going to be figured on. So, I mean, get all the prices and look at it.
Well, I think the quote will be, once we get the quote in front of us, I think it'll be a lot easier to process because there's been a lot of numbers thrown around tonight.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
and once the equipment list is given to, the AT&T folks, as far as our requirements, phones and MDTs, that dead spot and ultimately the goal of where we want to be, with the push to talk, via, LTE, to LMR. I think we'll have a lot better idea when that gets formulated.
Is Chief Vizina still on?
yep. Chief Vizzini is still with us. Chief Vizzina? There.
Caught me off guard.
Sorry, Chief. Quick questions on the, we use LifePack or Zoll or whatever they are. Do those have the integrated cell phone module in them?
Yeah, so they have a Verizon modem in them.
Okay,
We replaced those because they're 4G, I think. We replaced them last year or 2 years ago. And I want to say the cost for those are about $600 to $800 a piece.
okay. Our initial plan was to roll out and, if you will, beta test with the police department. Do you want to be included on the, just the initial rollout in general? And would you like us to go ahead and work that into the quote?
Well, we could talk about it some more. At the end of the day, they're just cell phones for us. So
Correct. Okay.
As long as the total cost is calculated as what it's gonna, to switch over.
Okay.
Doesn't matter to me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. And not to forget our last DPW.
Yep.
I know that the director has a phone.
I believe he's the only one.
He's the only one, but I think just, I think we should just transition him right onto it as well.
Yeah, I would, obviously, I think we ought to ask. him.
With some input, but, obviously ask him. But I think at this point, I think it'd be just as easy to roll, roll
Would
that
you be able
one
to reach
phone
out to Benji and see if he's
Yeah.
interested?
if possible.
So you're changing from everything to,
Yeah, we're doing PD only. PD, possibly
okay,
DPW.
so, because I know Bob said he wanted to talk about it more, so.
Right.
The
Well, I think
initial, I
once
think
the
the
firm-
initial, I thought you guys were talking about moving one and see where we go.
Yep. The initial PD, yes.
Right, so the fire and DPW, we can talk about, because.
When we get firm numbers. Yeah, when we get
Yeah.
firm numbers.
Yeah. I have no more questions for FirstNet.
I don't either, because I think once we get that quote, I think that's what's really gonna be the proof in the pudding, so. Recognize both chiefs at this time, if they have any questions.
Chris?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Bob,
Yeah, I do not have any more questions.
thank you.
Other board members joining via Zoom, Selectman Osborne, Chairman Meany.
No, I think it was pretty cut and dry.
Just gotta wait for the bottom line figures to come in.
Okay. Sounds good. And
All right, great.
present board members, anything? FirstNet?
No, just as soon as Naomi gets us that information over, we can probably get your quote back within a day or so, and you guys can take a look and, always call us or email us or whatever you guys need to do, and we can get back on a call like this as well to discuss if you want.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you for coming in.
Yes,
Thank you
thank
for
you very
taking the
much.
time.
Guys, we have one other thing, but thank you guys for all being part of that. You don't have to sit through the rest of it, but.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank
Thank you
you.
all.
Thank you, Paul.
Take care. Have a good night. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
So, last week we had an MOU that you asked me to send off. Chairman Meany, are you somewhere close by?
I'm gaining. I'm in Bedford.
You're in Bedford?
Yep.
All right, so he's still 25 out.
You're still about 20 minutes, 25 minutes away, right?
Yeah.
10
If you
10
got,
minutes how I drive.
what's that?
10 minutes how I drive.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were just gonna go ahead and, that MOU that, we had presented to us and was sent over to town council that agreed that it's, to go ahead and sign it. Do you have an issue with us moving forward, and if a motion's made to have the vice chairman sign it?
Yeah, you can sign it.
I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, let Ricky sign it.
Motion on the floor, is it seconded?
Second,
All's in favor?
yes.
Aye.
Yes.
I'll abstain since I'm signing it.
All right, that's the last order of business that I had for tonight. Nobody else said anything. Anyone else?
Jack or
No,
John?
nothing for
Jack,
me.
John?
Nope, I'm
Very
good.
I make a motion, we adjourn?
Motion on the floor, seconded. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Thank you. Have a
guys.
wonderful night,
Good
and we
night.
will see you next time via Zoom.